McDonald's All-Americans. And this one is in the air, and we're started. It'll be Nebraska to go on offense first.
Tough matchup for Ryan Robertson. Tyrone Lue loves to play in Allen Fieldhouse 26 a year ago. He's tough to contain. Robertson will have to give him distance. Man-to-man by Kansas.
Gets the screen from Hamilton. A little bit of a block on the play, partially touching the ball. Billy Thomas comes away with the rebound for Kansas.
Hamilton way outside on Chenowith. Nebraska starts in a man-to-man defense. Nebraska a little bit weak inside.
Chenowith, nice soft touch, and the 7-footer rolls it in.
You know, Ron, a good start for Chenowith. He's struggled in Hawaii since Rafe has gone down. And it's good to get off to a good start. He missed some easy baskets in the loss to Hawaii. Close ones. He got some rebounds, lost control of the ball, missed some easy ones. But there's a lot of pressure being a freshman taking that man's place.
You know, it's easier when you come in as a freshman off the bench and it's, well, he's only a freshman if things don't go right. But when they're depending on you, then it's a different kind of pressure.
Yeah, you're right. They're depending on production inside, because that frees up everybody else to do what they do best. Paul Pierce on the move. Billy Thomas stands still, jump shoot.
Florence called for the travel. First turnover of the night for Danny Nee's Nebraska ball club.
Boy, what a surprise that is.
Probably the most amazing thing is the fact that Brand is out with a broken leg for the rest of the year, and they still are leading that ball game that much. Doesn't bode well for other ACC opponents, does it?
No, you're right.
Pierce way outside, misses the three, and Chenowith gets a piece of it. But here comes Lue. He'll push it up.
And that's what Lue does best. What a finish by Hamilton.
Hamilton on the wing, showing that he can get out and run the floor.
Nebraska has relied under Danny Nee on the speed of their teams. They like to push the basketball. You have to get back defensively.
Pierce with the quick first step and the foul inside, and I believe Markowski, number 44, is the guy who will pick up the foul.
Tyrone Lue, you have to honor and pick up the basketball. Kansas slow retreating back. Hamilton can outrun everybody.
First on Markowski, first on the team as you look at Danny Nee. His ball club 9-4. They were over in that same tournament in Hawaii. And in fact, as this game goes on, we'll show you some frequent flyer miles that I'm not sure it'll make you envious or not, but these kids have not been home yet. Roy Williams' club at least got to come home and spend a night in a familiar bed.
Paul Pierce had a good Rainbow Classic, averaged 26 a game. And again, you said it right, Ron. You just don't want him to try to do too many things. He can do a lot of things, and had a good tournament over there.
Roy was talking about on his coach's show last night about he looked up and, you know, and Pierce, sometimes he's playing the middle, sometimes he's playing where he's familiar with. Florence, nice job in the boards, takes it up over Chenowith to score.
Florence very athletic. Basically on the defensive end, will attack the glass. Nebraska not very big in size out on the court.
You can see he's a quick leaper, though. He's out of Florence City, Alabama.
Here's the guy who can stroke it.
Yep, and the gunner misses that, but boy, he was really burning them today in the shoot-around. Lue pushes it up from 15 feet, too hard off the back iron, and Markowski comes away with it for the Huskers. Lester Earl defensively. That's a travel. Second turnover against Nebraska for a walk. .52 straight. That's the longest in Division I. The last loss, 94, Missouri. That was on February the 20th.
Tiger Ball Club came in here. Melvin Booker had quite a ball game that night and probably set himself up to win the Big 8 Player of the Year.
Yep, sure did. Hamilton with the takeaway there, and here's Lue. Quick step to the hoop, can't get it to go. Pierce with the outlet pass. Robertson with a headman, a 3-on-1, and a nice gun play by Belcher. Boy, they had 3-on-1, and he tipped the ball, made it go off the glass, and came away with the turnover.
Robertson wanted the lob. He wanted to throw the lob, not high enough. Belcher probably as good a hands as anybody in the country.
That's going to be Chenowith who picks up the foul.
Look at this, 3-on-1, basically an easy play. Cookie Belcher has quick hands. Led the league last year as a freshman in steals. Nebraska likes to transition to go try to make easy baskets. Right now, the favorite Nebraska run, and the fact that the crowd's not involved. This is a very difficult place to play. As you mentioned, 52 straight home wins.
Well, you're fortunate to come here when the students are not in school, and not that the place is not packed, because it is. But inside, that shot won't go by Vincent Hamilton. but maybe not the fervor that the students have, although there's a body in every seat.
Well, and the Cornhuskers have had early opportunities that you need to capitalize.
Pierce gets the double. Thomas left alone in the corner, and he's 0 for 2. Whoa.
Well, Billy averaged 21 points in Hawaii, had 27 in the game against Ohio State, hit 6 3-pointers. But you know what's more important to Kansas? They'll talk about Billy Thomas's defense. He graded out the best on the team in the Vandy win and the loss against Hawaii. And that's a marked improvement for that young man.
That's another thing that Roy talked about yesterday, that Lester Earl, everybody was talking about how hyped he was, but he said, I want him that hyped on the defensive end as well. In fact, he'd probably rather him be that hyped there first and then offensively.
Well, you know how Roy Williams is. You do it on the defensive end. Nebraska, 3rd turnover. They average nearly 18 a ball game. You won't win in this building if you continue to do that.
We're tied at 4, about to go under 16 minutes to play in his opening half. Coaches for Kansas said they didn't want to take anything away from Hawaii in their victory, but Kansas did not play well, and that's what upset them. Pierce caught in the ears. That ball was about to be blocked by Hamilton, and at the other end, Florence with the offensive foul. He just ran over Robertson.
Nice play by Ryan Robertson.
So let's take a timeout. Tied at 4, 15:47 left until halftime. Only 1 of 6. Billy Thomas 0 of 3. That's got to get better.
Yeah, Billy Thomas, he'll wake up. They're forcing things. Offensively, they're not in sync, and we've maybe expected that.
Robertson on the bench. Roy a couple of times in the opening sequence came out on the floor as he had a stoppage in play and was talking with him, and I have a feeling that's exactly what he meant, is let's get some sequences going and, you know, get a little rhythm here.
Well, the one thing without Ray LaFrance and the big guy inside that you can rely on when he catches the ball and draws attention, you have to be more efficient in the way you set picks and the way you make moves. And to free up Billy Thomas and Pierce now become the focal point for the defense.
Chenowith left alone, and he will swish a 10-footer.
Well, big shot there. If he can make Nebraska guard hit, all of a sudden it frees somebody else up.
Chenowith off to a nice start. Gotten a couple of good looks. Lue. And that's the reason the average is almost 21 a game.
Yeah, nice little left, good backdoor cut. Markowski put it right on the money.
Chenowith's pass. Tipped. Good pass. Get it inside to Earl.
What a good pass inside.
Florence is going to be guilty of the foul, and the hoop will count.
Danny Nee doesn't like that call. And
the officials tonight, David Hall, the referee, Tom Clark, and Steve Olson, the umpire.
Now they get the ball underneath. It looked like Earl was just catching that basketball when they blew the whistle.
2 fouls now on Florence. Nebraska not a real deep basketball team as Chenowith gets the pass inside. Earl tips it. It's over the hoop. Interference.
Oh, my. I'll tell you what, Nebraska goes to a 3-2 zone on the underneath out of bounds, and on the missed shot,
ooh, they call a push rather than interference.
Earl came from out. Look how high he is. He goes over top. Boy, there's not much there. Good play by Lester Earl.
Probably the foul of it. Technical would be failing to file a flight plan. 8-6 Kansas on top. We just got under 15 minutes to play opening half. His first conference game for the defending champion, the Jayhawks, number 3 in the nation.
Robertson at 6'5" can play off of Lue and then get in his shot line. He has 5 inches advantage over Lue.
Belcher way off the mark. Earl skies for the rebound. Thomas. He's now 1 of 4.
Well, here's a guy that when he came to Lawrence, Kansas, he was a great standstill shooter, and he was really streaky. Still streaky, Ron, but what he does better now, he shoots better off the move, off the dribble, and he hits a lot of big buckets for this ball club.
Well, he's a 42% three-point shooter. As you see Markowski battle back for the basketball, and there's Lue with that quick step. What a great dish to Hamilton.
What a pass when he gets inside the lane. Kansas always helps out.
Great vision.
Yeah, he really does.
He knows where everybody is on the floor, John.
You just have to have your hands ready if you're a teammate. Free yourself up.
Lester Earl too hard as he kisses it off the glass.
He does well. He runs behind big guys and kind of surveys the floor. pushes the ball up the floor. He hides behind big guys. This time he goes to his left. Robertson gets beat. Here's the help defense, but no one steps in front of Hamilton. The easy basket.
Chenowith gets a breather. 21, Nick Bradford, the 6'6" sophomore out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, into the ball game. Bradford has had some quality minutes with the injuries to both of Hugh and LaFrance.
Always very active, will always do some different things. Sometimes Coach Roy gets a little upset by some of the things that go on in his building. Hasn't been able to put the ball in the hole enough. Hayakowski just in the ball game, and he buries the 16-footer. And that's what he does best. Good open shooter, good standstill shooter, good ball fake. Kansas was in the zone. Good ball movement by the Cornhuskers.
The versatility of Bradford, he can play like one of 4 positions. Thomas for 3, and that's way off the mark.
Yeah, not set, going to his right, much more difficult for a right-handed shooter.
Hayakowski almost stolen by Thomas. Lue with the three-pointer. It's not there. Robertson, Lester Earl.
Trying to find a rhythm in this game so far, either team. I mean, it's just a little bit stagnant. But expected. They both traveled from Hawaii.
13-10, KU on top. A little strange to see KU as just a jump shooting team, you know?
Yeah, it really is.
Hamilton. And Earl picks up the foul as he had decent position on the first shot and then got a cheapie.
Well, we talked about the term in Hawaii. They come back together. They see each other play all the time. The 3 games against, they almost faced each other. Nebraska lost in the semifinals.
2 on Lester Earl as Thomas will get a breather. Chenowith comes back into the lineup, and Lester Earl will go to the bench as well. And number 20, Kenny Gregory. The freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, comes in. And speaking of somebody who's struggling right now.
Yeah, he is explosive. Having a hard time getting the ball in the hole.
Johnson almost lost it.
Good pass.
Hamilton will score it, and the foul on Gregory.
Well, right now it's either Belcher or Lue if they get inside. Kansas very good at help defense, but nobody's picking up Hamilton as the second helper. Here's the first helper. Look at that baseline. Pierce helps out. Nobody steps in to help out on Hamilton. Terrific look by Belcher.
Hamilton knocks it down. Only a 59% free throw shooter, but he got that one. We're tied at 13. He's got 7. We'll be right back.
There it is. The Devils annihilate the Terps by 32. They won their first 2 ACC games by 44 and 32. Back out to Ron and John at the 5.
Okay, so the Dukies 12-1. That only loss coming up in Ann Arbor when Michigan surprised them. That was back before Christmas. Some of the capacity crowd here. This is always an interesting thing when the students are not here. The local people who don't get in on a regular basis buy these tickets and help fill this house. And so there are a lot of people that this is the only time they get to watch the basketball.
Yeah, not an empty seat. And these people really die to get these tickets.
Well, they do. Gregory, as you can see, the double team outside on Robertson. Belcher, his first foul. Team foul against Nebraska. That's number 4.
You know, Gregory, outstanding player. MVP of the McDonald's Classic last year. Going through what most freshmen go through. A little bit of indecision. Trying to run the offense maybe too much. Point A to point B. He has to let his abilities go sometimes and struggle to get the ball to home.
That was Harriman who got the block before Pierce buries it. You know, in the UMass game, John, that we did about 3 weeks ago, he made a couple of major league plays in that thing.
Yeah, from end to end.
Yes.
He can push it himself. He can go over people. And this coaching staff, they really like him.
Hayakowski, that ball is kicked. No reset. Gregory at the other end with a spin move against Lue. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Tell me who can do it better.
You brought up, I was going to say he doesn't have numbers. Doesn't matter. Boy, what a move.
And Lue has got as quick a hands as anybody in the league, and he just did a little juggling act by him. Little 4-point burst here by KU. Lue with the jumper, and it's not there.
Again, I think Robertson can bother Lue on the jump shot. The height advantage.
Paul Pierce just inside the 3-point line. His first 2 of the night.
Yeah, too smooth. The guy can do about everything. Could be 5 seconds.
You got it. 20-second timeout is called.
It talked about Kenny Gregory pushing coast to coast, didn't have the numbers. The spin on Lue moves the ball away from Piatkowski, and watch Pierce. This is a forward bringing up, eyeballing the rim and just knocking it home. Next time the defender gets a little closer, he then blows by.
So it's a 6-0 run by the Jayhawks. But interestingly, the first thing Roy Williams would tell you right now, yes, we just did it on individual effort, but we got to get team offense going more consistently.
Now they're going to search for that. Again, they took out the biggest piece of the pie in Rafe LaFrench. So now they're trying to find their way through and establish continuity.
Gregory stays. Bradford is out. McGrath comes in as Robertson gets a breather. Chenowith is in the lineup along with Pierce. Here's Lue.
Has such a soft touch from the mid-range.
4 points for him. And about as many assists already as well. Bradford with the lob. Pierce can't get that one to go. And Nebraska saves it. It's Chad Johnson, the freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida.
Well, Johnson checked in, and immediately as a freshman, he drew Pierce. That's going to be a tough assignment.
Welcome to the league. Your first league contest. Belcher rattles it home. Belcher and, of course, Lue, both from Mexico, Missouri. And what do we got? An injury here?
Didn't play a lot of high school ball together because Tyrone Lue transferred and went to Raytown High School in Kansas City. Distant cousins, but they grew up together in Mexico, just north of Columbia. Cookie Belcher getting better on the outside shooting. Outstanding athlete.
Paul Pierce, by the way, cut a finger, and because of the blood, that's the reason he had to go immediately to the bench. So Billy Thomas back in. Kansas margin 1. Oh my, there he is again. Kenny Gregory, freshman out of Columbus, Ohio. He averaged over 25 points a game his senior season. He's got 4. And it hasn't been on the floor too long.
McGrath has to keep Lue in front of him.
Lue did a good job at getting to the hoop and in dishing, but Kansas closed in and kind of clogged up the lane.
How about this? Kenny Gregory goes, now watch the patience. Slows down, goes up, goes under. Thought about dunking it, then laid it in. He's had 2 layups, 2 real hard layups, but it does help confidence. We talked about him struggling shooting. Anytime you get an easy one, boy, that just boosts you up.
Roy said in that game against Hawaii that Kansas missed 2 layups. They wound up just being rainbows right over the hoop. Billy Thomas, Piatkowski came out on him.
Good ball movement.
Chenowith now. That's what they're looking for.
Outstanding ball movement. They set a few more picks. Quickness of the pass, the movement of the body is easy shot.
Chenowith with 6. Piatkowski looking like older brother, huh? And he did that off the dribble, John.
Yeah, you like him to put it on the floor if you're a defender, but he went all the way. The nice little switch of the hands.
Folks in Nebraska can smile about that. Another Piatkowski in the lineup and looking good. Gregory pumped it, thought about dishing it off, and they give it right back to Bradford, and he'll go to the line for a couple.
Well, Lue made the save, but how often does a coach tell you don't save it back underneath their basket for him? Look at the post down low, the ball, the movement up high. Bradford, the lock down low. That's just solid basketball. Markowski picked up his 2nd personal there.
Well, Bradford. He's a 55% free throw shooter as Gregory goes to the bench and Pierce comes back in. What they had to do is they had to get a bandage on that cut before the officials would let him come back in because the blood was exposed. Lester Earl in. Bradford goes to the bench. 8:20 until halftime. This has been a rapidly played first half. KU up by 5 now.
If you're a teammate of Tyrone Lue and he can maybe break down McGrath, Kansas helps out so well. You want to spot up, you want to find the openings, because Lue will find you. Now, he hits his own jump shot, but he'll find you. If you clog it up in the middle, that's an advantage to the Jayhawks.
He's got 6. McGrath, by the way, for the first time in his career, as Chenowith. Nice touch again.
Boy, a good touch for the big fella.
Roy wanted to push. He thought that Chenowith had been shoved as he got the shot away. Anyway, back to McGrath. For the first time in his career, he led the team in assists in that last game. No, 2 games ago when he had 4. Hamilton changes hands. Going to be fouled by Chenowith.
Tyrone Lue, what makes him so difficult is he's an accurate shooter. He pulls that ball back. The release is quick. 2 points. McGrath did a pretty good job defensively.
Yep. 2 on Chenowith. And that's the 5th team foul against the Jayhawks. And the guy that they have got to have come through also to help out, and this is certainly nothing against CV, but Jelani Janice, the junior transfer out of Granada Hills, California, out of LA City College. They're waiting on him to kind of ripen a little bit. 27-24, Jayhawks on top. We'll be right back. 27, and don't forget, Big Monday means big games, and it all begins this Monday. We get conference play for the Big East, the Big 12, and the WAC. Georgetown and West Virginia first, then followed by Texas at Missouri, and TCU at 13th ranked New Mexico to wrap up the night. And of course, Big Monday, always brought to you by Bud Light. And in this league, in the Big 12, they always play hard. Here's an example as Tyrone Lue goes right over the top of the photographers. Tried to save it. Both teams 50% from the field, but 8 turnovers against the Huskers.
Yeah, 8 early. Very tough against this team in this place.
McGrath's still in the ballgame. I thought that probably Robertson would come back into the lineup, but did not. As Thomas misses the shot, wisely bounce passes to Chenowith with an easy 2, and the big fella's got 10.
How about that? And Kansas just beating Nebraska to the punch right now. Quicker to the basketball on that rebound.
Thomas almost knocks it away from Fiakowski.
Well, right now Nebraska doing nothing towards the basket. There's the move.
Lue can't get it, and if that's Earl, that's his 3rd. Yep. Lester Earl has just picked up his 3rd foul at the 6:47 mark, and he's going to have to be gone for the rest of the half. And Nick Bradford will come off the bench.
You know, for about 25 seconds, Kansas had Nebraska where they wanted to, playing away from the hoop, not doing anything offensively. But the backdoor cut by Lue, the overplay by McGrath, just changes the whole thing.
You know, with the transfer of Lester Earl from LSU, a lot of people have thought that really, really great things were going to happen, and he is going to be a heck of a player. But Roy Williams, as you look at the foul, has been trying to tell the fans here he is a really fine player, but he is not the savior. And don't put too much pressure on him.
And think of this. He only played 11 games at LSU his freshman year. I mean, that's all he's played. He's played 5 now in Kansas. He has 16 games under his belt as a college player.
And set out, so Lue knocks it down, and a nice hand from McGrath as he has gone to the bench, and Robertson is back in. 29-26, Jayhawks.
Nebraska 1-3-1 zone. Watch for Billy Thomas to try to spot himself up. Even against a zone defense, Kansas will run a lot of back picks. They'll look for lobs, and if players switch things in the zone defense, it allows different players offensively to pop inside, get open jumpers.
Cheapy on Hamilton there and a reach in, and that is now 16 fouls. It's his first. Thomas for 3. Well, he's hit 2 in a row and he's missing his first 3.
His eyes do light up when he sees his own defense.
So do his teammates. They like seeing that. 6-point margin.
He has as pure a stroke as any in the country. Sometimes he forces some things.
That's where you have to be so careful against Kansas in this building. Piakowski with the jumper, and he has an answer.
How about the pass from Hamilton? I wasn't quite sure if he passed it or got knocked away, but it slipped out of his hand or something.
It did get knocked away. It was the record book will show it as an assist, won't it?
Ball movement over the top. Nick Bradford tried to set a pick down low. Piakowski late, and you can't be late for that man.
Bradford goes to the bench. Nice round of applause for him as Kenny Gregory is back in the lineup for KU.
Nebraska back man-to-man. Tough job for Markowski to stay with Paul Pierce.
Hamilton just picked up his second and an opportunity for a three-point play by Pierce. This is the point I was about to make a minute ago. You have to be so careful in this building. You can be down by 10 before you know it.
Well, the sprint across, Markowski late getting there, and then Hamilton late helping out. Tried to stay away from the foul.
Pierce gets it to complete the three-point play, averaging 20.7 per ball game. He's got 9 this evening.
Trapping defense by Kansas. They communicate well. They get back man-to-man. Lue on Gregory will try to take this challenge. Gregory's kind of eyeballing him, and Lue will try to take it.
And 5 seconds. Boy, Gregory was down in about as low a stance as you could get.
Well, that becomes interesting. And Gregory's a freshman. And Roy Williams jumped up and obviously applauded his guy. But I will promise you, Tyrone Lue saw that, and he'll come at him the next time. Lue is a competitor. He smiled on the way down. Good defense, 5-second call. Last year in the Big 12 Conference, Lue accepted all challenges, averaged over 20 points a ball game. Seemed to go at people.
Chenowith now with 12. What is it? Gregory got hit in the face, I believe. Not so sure he didn't get hit by his own teammate here. John will look at it.
Yeah, there's Pierce goes up, gets elbow right in the face to Gregory. Looks like he's okay.
Was it Pierce who almost knocked out Pollard here in a game last year as they both were going strong to the board?
How about the start by Chenowith? 12 points already. You know, early in the season when they played UNLV here, he played terrific. 13 points, 8 rebounds, ran the floor, and obviously he was surrounded by Rafe and everybody else, but he has come back home tonight and has started really well.
This is the worst kind of news for their opponents in the Big 12 Conference, because this kid is gonna be is getting closer to the confidence that he's playing with, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
9-point lead for the Jayhawks, under 5 minutes until halftime. The bouncer to Hamilton, nice job in the strip by Pierce. Just reached in and took it away from him.
Team defense, weak side help, classic Kansas basketball.
Robertson, nice job, kicks it strong to the hoop. He's got 2.
How quickly it goes to 11 points.
This is a thing I was talking about in this building. It's an 11-point margin right now. It was down to 4 just a minute and a half ago. Piakowski got it.
Oh, what a tough shot, because the recovery by Billy Thomas was quick. Piakowski still knocked it home.
He's got 8 points. Piakowski stepping up tonight for the Huskers. Billy Thomas. Not a good one.
Ill-advised.
Yep.
He has a few of those. And always has.
Belcher. So Nebraska comes back with a couple of answers here, and it's a 7-point ball game, 39-32. On the floor, Belcher trying to take it away.
Probably ought to be 3 seconds. I think Pierce was in there for about 5.
Danny Nee is up, and there's a 3. And Danny Nee giving the officials what for He wanted either a travel or a 3-second call.
Well, Paul Pierce laid in there a while. You know, the air ball did not bother Thomas, did it? Comes right back. Just come. He is a true gunslinger.
Robertson with the steal. Need a timeout, Danny. Going to take a 20. 12-point lead.
And Danny Nee does not have the depth to be able to go up and down at times with this Kansas team that keeps rotating players in and out. Vincent Hamilton is grabbing his short. Everybody's a little bit tired. Billy Thomas had the air ball prior to this one. Didn't bother him. Danny Nee was up screaming about a 3-point second. Paul Pierce, silky smooth, a little fadeaway, and Kansas builds it again.
Good to see Markowski in the background there. In this crowd, it'd be hard to hear your teammate holler screen, but Markowski, Chenowith just wiped him out with the screen. 44-32 with 2 minutes and 48 seconds left until halftime.
Take a look at the turnovers forced. 11 by Kansas. And they like to convert and have 12.
Janice in the ball game, and he's working against Lue now. The man I was talking about just a moment ago. Out of LA City College, he's a junior, first year here at Kansas. Lue streaks by him, and Robertson blocks the shot. So there's a timeout. Let's take it with him. 2:26 left in this first half. Kansas by 12. We'll be right back.
12-point lead, and they do it on the defensive end. And when the ball goes inside, you'll see a lot of white shirts and a lot of activities. When Hamilton takes it inside, there's the weak side help. If you're a Kansas player, a Nebraska player, here goes Lue. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys. As you go inside against Kansas, you have to know they're coming, and you have to find them.
Robertson got the block there. Listen to his numbers tonight. He's got 2 points, 5 assists, 1 steal, and now 1 block.
Well, take a look at the lineup Roy Williams has. He has Robertson, who plays point guard. He has McGrath in there, Gregory another guard, and Genesee another guard. He has 4 guards defensively in there. They'll be able to get after Nebraska. Hamilton, you'll see if he'll work in the post, but he's away from the basket.
Lue gets it away quickly, and it's an air ball.
Recognition is a key when you play the game of basketball.
Bradford left alone. Robertson for 3. Oh, look at Gregory get up, and he's fouled, I think, by Johnson.
Well, the quickness and the snatch of the basketball. Look at the box out by Nebraska. It's not happening. The snatch of the ball right back up, draws contact. You know, he's been active so far.
This is interesting. This is a lineup that KU fans haven't seen one like. This is like the Smurfs.
Well, and they can do that because look who Nebraska has. They have Hamilton, who's at 6'10", but the rest of them, Johnson, Belcher, Lue, Piatkowski, all somewhat guards. So Roy Williams had just decided, hey, we'll match up, Smurf versus Smurf. But
Give
Nebraska,
the big guys a breather.
Well, and see if Nebraska goes to Hamilton. Last time they didn't recognize him. Throw it inside, make them double down on him, then spot up and shoot jump shot.
Oh, yeah. Gregory misses, and Jelani Janice comes away with the rebound.
That's too easy.
Gregory and Hamilton, if that's on him, well, let's wait and see.
They get Hamilton. Would that be his 3rd?
That's his 3rd. And coming up at halftime, studio, it's a Reese Davis, number 9 UCLA, and number 6 Arizona. Big 12 roundup and also NFL playoffs. All of that coming up on the halftime report.
Well, Nebraska's a little flat-footed, I think, Ron, defensively. That time, Kenny Gregory just dribbled around everybody, got to the rim. Hamilton will sit down. And in the game comes Harriman, who's 6'10", 250, not known to score many points, a freshman out of Mason City, Iowa. So from an offensive standpoint, it's hard to take advantage of the smaller Kansas team.
Gregory misses the second one as well as Belcher comes away with the carry. Under 2 minutes left until halftime. Air ball by Belcher. KU basketball.
Well, that one never feels good. As a player, used to say, well, they turned on the air conditioner or something up there. It blew it left. I've hit a couple already.
You know, John, Nebraska actually has played pretty good basketball in this first half. It was a 2-minute and 40-second run in there, and that's what got them in Dutch. Bradford back to Pierce. Ball with the spin move. Puts it on the floor, and he gets it back. Gregory. Pierce has it blocked. As Harriman got the block, but also the foul.
Well, you better be fundamental when you come into this building to play Kansas, because they are fundamental. Nebraska not blocking out very well. Gregory, Pierce, Bradford all getting their hands on the ball, but watch the block out. Johnson a little soft there. He's only a freshman. There's the activity, active hands, and draws contact. Ron, I think this building gets the quietest of anywhere on a free throw.
I know that we talk, I feel like we're on the 18th green. It's a 6-footer. It'll break to the right.
The people behind us tell us they keep shh, shh, shh.
Paul Pierce now with 12 points. McGrath goes out. He's a very, very popular player. A hard worker. Now for Pierce. 47-32, largest margin by the Jayhawks as we have 1:20 left until halftime. Gregory tried for the steal. Belcher can't get it to go. Misses his own follow. Misses his second follow. And Gregory will come down with it.
Oh, Pierce can really post up down low.
It's going to be Johnson.
Paul Pierce, 6'7", probably his first center action in a Kansas uniform. With the lineup they have, he went to the post position. Guarded by Chad Johnson at 6'6", but Pierce much stronger down low.
That's 10 fouls on Nebraska, 2 fouls on Johnson.
Gregory having a nice first half. Has 7 points on the night.
And McGrath's going to come back in, and Gregory will go to the bench. And the crowd gives him a nice warm reception. Under a minute to play.
Lue has been somewhat quiet. He's hit a couple baskets, but he'll have to liven this thing up for Nebraska to get in, and that's how you want to play. You want to spot up. Hayakowski outstanding. That was deep in the corner. Might have been an NBA 3, but he did what you do. You spot up and wait for Lue to find you.
He's got 11 points, double figures for him now, and you're right. Any further back, he's going to buy a ticket. Harriman comes down with the rebound, and shot clock is off. Lue looks up. He's going to try to force it.
Well, he's got 15 seconds.
And McGrath fouls him. And that's 17 fouls. Of course, shooting violation there, but 17 foul against Kansas.
Lue going baseline. We've seen this move before. Likes to pull up, and actually, again, McGrath played it pretty well, but then got him on the arm. Lue shoots nearly 84% from the foul line. The Big 12 conference play, you see 3 for 10 starts as it is tonight. Tyrone Lue's a marked man. They don't have the firepower they did a year ago. Mikey Moore inside, Bernard Garner, guys that could do some more things inside and helped out Tyrone Lue. So
And you can see a poor shooting percentage for him tonight. The crowd counts it down. The tip would not go. Bradford, that would have counted had it gone. So it's a run of 20-6 by KU that puts them up big at halftime. Kansas 49 and Nebraska 37. We're at halftime now. Let's send it to Reese Davis with the halftime report. Reese.
All right, Ron, and that run by the Jayhawks at the end, good offensive showing. They've struggled offensively without Big Ray LaFrentz, held under 70 in 2 of the 3 games he's missed. Coming up on our halftime report, Jelani McCoy leading the Bruins into the... He's getting the job done against Nebraska. We're back after this. Area earmarked for conference wars to start heating up. Oklahoma and Colorado avoiding the rush. They're starting to hate each other early. Let's go out to Boulder where that altitude will get you. It can also make you a little testy. Colorado down 10 in the second half. Ronnie DeGray shoots and misses. Corey Brewer gets him right in the chops with an elbow. DeGray. Okay, let's all deal with our anger constructively. Let's emote it. Ricardo Patton, Kelvin Sampson. What about me? What about my needs, Kelvin? Referees had the coaches engage in a male bonding ritual and say they were sorry. Back to the game. Oklahoma down by 1, just over a minute left. Eduardo Najera said he was just trying to draw a foul. And liberal weekend banking hours turned out to be the winner. Oklahoma 69-68. Texas Tech gets a win over Iowa State. Tech's won 7 of 8. Oklahoma State still unbeaten. Cowboys shot 85% from the floor in the second half. Baylor by 6 over Tom Pender's squad, 87-81. And K-State, which gave up a school record 125 in its last outing and its only loss against Arizona, back to hammer Missouri, who's struggling. And Don Haskins becomes the 10th Division I coach to get 700 victories. The Hall of Famer also hands the Mustangs their first loss of the season. We're back with more after this.
9:37 our score at halftime, and what did it was a 20-6 run in the first half, John. But what's most impressive, KU went for almost 16 minutes without a turnover. They only had 2 in the first half.
Well, they took care of the basketball. They got good shots, and they built the lead.
Also, a couple of guys, Chenowith particularly, came up big.
Well, the freshman, 16 minutes. He scored on the outside jump shot. He scored down low. The good post up the turn. Productive, 12 points and 2 rebounds. For Nebraska, Troy Piakowski comes off the bench. Lue penetrates. The kick, the deep shot out of the corner. And Piakowski, very productive. 5 of 5 from the field, 11 points. Lue with 4 assists, but also 4 turnovers.
What do you see in the numbers here, John, that tell the biggest?
You know what? Pretty much even when you start looking at shooting percentage and the three-point percentage. There it is, and the free throws, very good by Nebraska. But there it is, the turnovers and the points off. Kansas thrives on the fact that getting the basketball away and taking off and being productive on the other end.
11 turnovers against the Huskers in the first half, and only 2, as we said, for the University of Kansas. Billy Thomas comes out and fires at will the way he did in that first half.
Well, Thomas 3 of 7 from the three-point line, 3 of 10 overall, but some of them are a little bit ill-advised.
Well,
you just mentioned turnover, didn't you?
Yeah. Here's Chenowith. Thomas 13, 12, and 9. But we jinxed them there. I did anyway. So they get a turnover in the very first 15 seconds of the second half. Belcher, nice move and body control.
Nice give and go. The bounce pass from Hamilton. Belcher with a nice scoop shot on the finish.
Thomas working against Belcher. Kokanee, he normally draws that tough guy from the other team. Chenowith banks it off the glass.
Continues on. Lester Earl on the offensive end, trying to post up down low. Remember, Lester only played 10 minutes the first half because of foul trouble. He has 3. Kansas has stayed mostly man-to-man. Once in a while, they will trap the ball. What they've done best, clog the middle. That has caused a lot of turnovers. The active hands by Chenowith. 2-on-1.
2-on-1 and a bouncer to Robertson and play it perfectly.
That is how you do it. And once again, great defense leads to easy baskets. Nice sharing of the basketball. Thomas drew the defender, Ron. You take it as far, and once a defender comes in, you just make it easy. Nebraska just seems stagnant offensively. They've watched Tyrone Lue maybe too much. The teammates just stand and watch, wait for him to do everything.
Hamilton knocked down Pierce, and Pierce is going to be called for the foul.
A defensive play before, maybe Hamilton just lost the ball. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Billy takes it all the way until the defense commits themselves. Then it's just a simple bounce pass, easy too.
Kind of threaded a needle on that one as Pierce picks up his first foul. First team foul against KU in the second half.
Hamilton having a nice year for this Cornhusker team. 9 double-doubles. Big ball game at Minnesota. 18 points and 15 rebounds in the 4-point win on the road. Nebraska has had problems winning on the road in Big 12 play. Very good home team in the Bob Devaney Center. Mentioned earlier that Hamilton Hamilton doesn't have the surrounding bodies, Bernard Garner and Mikey Moore, that he had a year ago.
Chenowith with still another rebound. 53-39.
Good backdoor. They had cleared the whole backside out. Cookie Belcher got caught napping the back door of the pass, 11 points. Good delivery by Robinson.
Taken away by Thomas, and then Belcher knocks it away from him. You know, that's one of the things that Kansas has not been getting as much of as they have in the past with Haas and Vaughn out front. Those cheap points.
Yeah, a little bit different. Haas and Vaughn, outstanding defenders on the ball. Kansas probably doesn't have the quickness defensively in the guard position they did a year ago. And they don't have the shot blocker back there with Scott Pollard. But you know, Ron, it's a different style and different type of team as they mature through the conference play when Rafe LaFrentz gets back. I think in a half-court offensive set, they have more weapons that can score. Brian Robertson's a better open shooter than Jock Vaughn was. Billy Thomas is a better shooter than Haas was, and you still have Pierce LaFrentz, and now you have Lester Earl that goes the offensive glass. With a half-court set, I think they'll be very effective.
Knocked away and blocked by Chenowith.
And look at Chenowith run. Outruns everybody.
Thomas for three. Now numbers for Nebraska.
Oh, what a catch.
Nice job by Markowski.
Belcher threw it up, but Markowski made the catch in the delivery.
Billy Thomas gets the screen and soft touch. It's like the first one he's had tonight. Well, that layup a moment ago. I'll take it back. Most everything he has scored were three-pointers. The two that he scored in the second half, both are deuces. He's got 13.
Well, and Belcher defensively may want to trail Thomas on the screens and make Billy put it on the floor. I know he's a great shooter, and he's improved going to the basket with the ball, but you have to make him do that. If you go through and under the picks, Billy Thomas has too quick of a release.
Hamilton had trouble with a handle. Crowd wanted a 5-point or 5-second call. Hamilton, they'd love to have a 5-point right now.
Nice passing before again. Cookie Belcher throws it up a little bit behind Markowski, but the young junior who has gotten better every year for Danny Nee.
Jimmy Williams, you can see him sitting there on the bench next to Danny Nee. Also Scott Howard, Randy Roth, brain trust for the Huskers. Florence thought that possibly he got undercut on that. There was no whistle. He just put up an air ball. And Robertson at the other end for three.
Very good spot-up shooter. Probably doesn't look to shoot as much as maybe he could in some sets in the half-court, but that time he eyeballed it.
You know, we talked in the first half, John, about both teams as Chenowith has just picked up the foul. It's his third. Talked about both teams coming from Hawaii. Kansas got to come home because of this game being here. Nebraska has not been, and I suggest to you right now, 4.5 minutes in here, they look tired in this ball game. We'll be right back.
The Pac-10 showdown in Tucson, UCLA and Arizona. Baron Davis finding Toby Bailey. Throws it down. The Bruins are on top of the Cats by 1. 2 minutes and change left in the first half. Utah has assumed control over Rice at the break, up by 7. Now back to Kansas, Ron and John.
Okay, Reese, thanks so much. Boy, what an opener. Arizona, UCLA. How about that for a conference opener for either coach? Whoever loses it, you know you're pretty doggone good anyway.
You're down one early. Somebody's down one early.
Very, very tough of Lute Olson and his Arizona club, though, after winning the national championship last year, everybody's gunning for you.
They're marked about like this Kansas team is always marked. They are, as you highlighted on the quick opening we had, is the fact that when Hawaii beat this team, it was statewide news over there.
2-inch headlines, and but that's the thing. When you are as good as this team has been now, Roy Williams in his 10th year at Lawrence, that everybody gives you their best shot, and they're looking for you.
How about this for a number? 59 straight weeks in the top 10. That is unbelievable.
It is. Pierce not enough arc on that one. Hamilton comes away with the rebound. Belcher inside to Markowski, off the mark. Good hustle by Hamilton, and Belcher will take it up, and in the Honda world, he got his body in there, and Markowski just lazily goes over the back and picks up the foul. Well, I asked Danny Nee if they were going to be able to do anything special for Coach Tom and a salute to the football team, and he said, actually, since we have not been back home, no, but, you know, he said, we all got together and watched as a team and cheered as a team, and just terribly excited that Nebraska got the win over Tennessee.
I saw T.J. Pugh, who was on the Kansas bench, a young man from Omaha, Nebraska. I saw him yesterday, and he was so excited about the football game, Ron. Now, I'll have to admit, I spent my grade school years in Seward, Nebraska, just outside Lincoln. They had a fair team, won 2 national titles, guys named Jerry Taggy and Jeff Kinney and Rich Glover, Johnny Rogers, so I've got a little Big Red in me, too, so I was excited about that game also.
Well, one of the things you have to say, I'm not surprised that the coaches stood up for Osborne and Nebraska because of it being his last year, but plus the fact what they did. And it all just points down to the fact that we got to come up with a better system than what was there this year. But I'm still not sure the alliance is it.
Here comes Gregory. That's what's nice about this time of year. Conference play starts in our game of round ball, and we will have, by mid-March, a true winner.
See, and that's, you know, I'm not saying that necessarily playoff is an answer, but the alliance is, when you say, okay, next year, Ron, 1 and 2 are supposed to play. What if you have 3 undefeated teams, or even worse, what if you have 1 undefeated and 4 teams with 1 that are very close together? Who decides who's that other team? You know, it's the most perfect way. And I'm not suggesting get rid of the bowls because you can utilize them in a playoff set. I just think that football is far from being perfect with their situation the way it is right now. For anybody that says it's healthy to have argue, that's wrong. Come on.
You know, you would think someone will come up with something. And we've kind of had this battle. We've had this thing go on for a while, and it happens again.
Good systems have come up, but the power brokers still deal the big cards right now. That's the folks that got to get by. 14-17 left in the ball game. Kansas by 18, 61-43.
Well, you mentioned before the break, Ron, both teams again travel from Hawaii. Nebraska looks more tired, but expected because the fans can give Kansas a little bit of energy.
Plus that lack of depth that you talked about, John, more so than what Nebraska had last year.
Yeah, Hamilton's been on the floor basically the whole ball game. Sat out a couple minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. Tyrone Lue's been on the floor the whole night. Doesn't look like he has the explosiveness in his legs because he hasn't really tried to blow by anybody.
Now a dozen for him, and it looks like Markowski just picked up his 4th foul.
And you can tell by the body man, their hands on their chest or hands on the side holding their shorts.
So Hamilton with 3 and Markowski with 4.
Well, we talked about it, just simply late to the position. Playing behind the man down low. Lester Earl, easy position. Markowski puts his hands on him.
3 team fouls against the Huskers here in the second half.
The Big 12 Conference, Nebraska is going to face the fact that they don't have as much depth as a lot of these teams. 3-2 zone by now, by Nebraska. Watch for Billy.
Thomas, there he is.
That's a mistake. Markowski's on the wing, and he doubles down on Kenny Gregory. No sense doubling Gregory. Just stay on Billy Thomas. Let Gregory beat you with a jump shot.
16 for Billy.
Recognition, a big part of this game. Lue just seems to have the bounce going maybe too much tonight. Just the standing, the dribble, not much movement by teammates.
Hamilton, it's blocked by Chenowith, knocked to the air. Piakowski will save it.
Good play by Lue. Blocked off Gregory.
1 second on the shot clock, and it's a violation. Lue is upset with Piakowski. He wanted him to give him the basketball. Troy just kept on dribbling.
Well, and I think Roy Williams would probably, he likes that shot clock running out maybe better than any playing basketball. I mean, all of a sudden the crowd gets off their feet a little bit.
That's a good job by Hamilton as they tried to get the bounce pass inside.
One more dribble to the right. The angle wasn't good enough. One more dribble. He has the angle. Easy pass, a layup.
Well, Lue is going to get a breather.
Well, this will be interesting. Who's the ball handler? You got Piakowski, Belcher.
Belcher probably.
Yeah, neither one have put the ball in their hands probably that much out front. Nebraska still in the 2-3 zone. Start with a man on the point. When the ball's passed to the wing, they go 2-3.
The Belcher's kind of situation we did the UMass here. Charlton Clark same way. He's a 3, but they have to use him at point from time.
Yeah, Belcher 6'3", 205. I mean, he was an all-state football player. Rock solid, great defender.
Well, ESPN 2 tomorrow, Pacific and Illinois State, the first one. Then Cincinnati and Houston. John will be there for that one. He loves flying. And the nightcap, UNLV against Tulane, all on the do.
Well, Bob Huggins has DeJuan Baker back. Been on lineup for 3 ball games, and Cincinnati has played well.
Had them against Minnesota, and they won at home. 64-45. It'll win. Bradford will go to the line. Crowd just waited. Everybody got silent, waiting to see if it was going to go.
And Bradford's a kid, I think his teammates love for good things to happen. He's always active when he's on the floor. Hawaii had 5 turnovers. Sometimes the activity could be good or bad. Markowski picks up his 5th that he's done for the evening.
Point lead, and Bradford will try to make it 22. And we mentioned the fact that that bench is not real deep for the Huskers, and they got one less now with the Markowski fouling out. 67-45. We'll be right back.
Seconds of the first half, UCLA and Arizona. Jason Terry's out there. He can't knock down the 3. Arizona's on the offensive board, but here comes Jelani McCoy. He came off the bench, came up with a block, and the Bruins have a 3-point lead at the break, 41-38. UTEP, a 2-point winner over SMU. Don Haskins, his 700th career win. Ron?
Okay, Reese, thanks. Quite a game out there in the desert as you look at Chenowith on the bench, and the big fella having a really outstanding night. He's got 14 points, 7 of 8, and he's got 5 rebounds. John was talking about the streak. Kansas, by the way, over the last 2 years is 50 wins and only 4 losses. And in that streak, they've won 24 straight home conference games.
And with Rafe LaFrance out, you think about last year, they won some ball games with, they've missed some players in the years too. There have been some injuries last year when Pollard went out, and everybody worried about that. That's when LaFrance stepped up and dominated the Big 12 to be the player of the year. So they have had enough players and enough guys that have stepped up when the players have been out to survive and continue to win.
Talked to Rafe today during the shoot-around. He was on the bench, said he had just come from visiting with the doctor. And his version of when he's coming back and the version of the coaches are 2 different things. Ray thinks it's about 3 weeks, and the coaches think that it's about 5 weeks.
Well, you know, the coaches want to be sure, because the worst thing, most athletes want to come back as soon as possible. But you wouldn't want to do something that would hurt it further.
Robertson for 3, not there. And they're going to call Bradford over the back. You know, Bradford's one of those kind of players. Now, he has a good time, but he's always got the smile on his face. He's popular with these fans already, and he hasn't been here that long. I think, you know, Chenowith is a lot the same way, and Gregory can be as well. As Robertson comes out, nice round of applause for him.
And always the coaches, their job is to direct the energy in a positive way. You have energetic players, and sometimes bad things happen, but instead of getting down on them too much when the bad things happen, you just kind of direct it so that it's towards the good area.
Well, McGrath just picked up his 3rd foul. What I would love to have seen in Hawaii, though, is Chenowith supposedly on the coaches show, they said surfed. And to see a 7-foot guy on a surfboard, I just think that'd be something to see, huh?
probably didn't go over real well with some of the coaching staff and the trainer.
For sure.
I'm trying to think, was it Luke Longley that had an injury a year ago, maybe surfed or did something, and those things happen to 7-footers.
Belcher with the foul, his second. That's 5 team fouls against Nebraska. By the way, we put a period on the Nebraska situation. We talked about the final polls and everything, but personally, congratulations to Coach Osborne. Not just another three-pointer by Billy Thomas. Not just a job well done this year, but for a magnificent career at Lincoln.
Well, 3 of the last 4 years undefeated. That says it all.
Hamilton, and got too far inside and fouled. 70-49. We're about to go under 10 minutes left in this one.
It'll be interesting to see how Kansas will work Lester Earl into the offensive sets more and more. Not a good outside shooter. Not bad. He hit a couple shots against Vandy. The thing is, he's not comfortable yet running the system and kind of goes from point A to point B when you watch him and waits for offensive rebounds like that one.
Wow.
Maybe you don't have to design anything, right?
Travel called on Lue. And that's another reason that McGrath is so popular. He's a great student, but his cumulative is like 3.6 in biology. He has 17 relatives that have gone to this school, but he worked so very hard. He started off as a walk-on, and the crowd really appreciates that, and they applaud it.
One of those players that continues to get minutes, but at the start of the year, the coaching staff probably says, well, he probably won't play much this year. But every year he keeps playing.
And now a hold on McGrath.
Actually got Tyrone Lue holding McGrath.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's 2 fouls on him. As McGrath turned around and looks at me, I'm getting a chance to play more than I usually do, and you're going to sit me down. Mr. Earl trying to get out high to set a screen for him. The bouncer to Earl. Not there. Pierce over the back will pick up the violation.
Tried to get Earl down low on the post. You see the explosive jump that he does have when he catches.
And the wingspan. That's extremely impressive.
Good post up. Watch the explosiveness. Up, over, but the shot's a little firm.
You know, the interesting thing, John, for as well as he jumps, and watching him in the shoot around today as well, on the jumper in the paint, he really doesn't extend his arms up and take advantage of his 6'9". He makes himself about 6'5" because he shoots it low.
A lot of that has to do with confidence. If you don't make a lot of shots, you don't shoot it with a lot of confidence, and arms don't extend. You short arm a lot of things. Should be probably number 4 on Hamilton.
Yep, that's the call. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these starters still play for a long time and see Robertson come back in, because one of the things that the Kansas coaches talked about, they have had so much travel and tournament play, they have not been able to work in practice. With the huge lead, they could work on some stuff. Yeah, good quality time for everybody.
They've played 18 ball games. That's just unbelievable. And they have not had the quality practice time.
Because when you're on the road and at tournament situations and shoot around, go eat your pregame meal and come do it again the next day.
Yeah, it hurts young players, especially new players, new faces, trying to get in the system.
Lester Earl now with 8. About to go under 9 minutes left in the ball game. 25-point lead, Kansas. Up the 3. Billy Thomas was right there. Belcher has it blocked. Bradford and Lester Earl will contend, and a jump ball is caught. No, they're going to call the foul on Belcher.
Belcher's good move inside. Nick Bradford active hands.
Free on Belcher.
A strong rebound by Earl, but Belcher, again, one of the strongest, maybe one of the best athletes in the Big 12 Conference. Not just basketball, but of all athletes.
You know, interesting that Earl will check his total tonight on blocks. But coming into this one, for the few games that he had played, he already had 9 blocks. He had 14 rebounds and 2 blocks against Hawaii.
Good stroke there. It doesn't get easier next week for Nebraska, Ron. They travel Wednesday down to Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Oklahoma State undefeated. Eddie Sutton's ball club, big win at Texas A&M. And surprising by the margin.
Piatkowski with the following. He had 35 points in College Station.
Brett Robish has had some big ball games. Doug Gottlieb, the transfer from Notre Dame, who now handles the point, runs the show. I think they have surprised some so far. They had a big win at TCU. Billy Tubbs has a real good ball club.
And Belcher causes the turnover. Earl tried to pick it up. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second half. Roy Williams and Robertson's going to come back in. Chenowith will come back in. And also Kenny Gregory. And this is what I was talking about. This has nothing to do with trying to show somebody up. He's trying to get work for his regulars under game conditions.
Needs some work for everybody. And the one thing about you have young players. Gregory, Chenowith need some time on the floor. For confidence builder, Earl needs time on the floor. Pierce is solid. Ryan Robertson, the one thing he may want to look at is a couple more open jump shots. Get his stroke going because it's so important that he's an offensive weapon in their machine.
Lawrence with the air ball coming off the pick by Lue. Lester with the look inside. Chenowith rushed that one just a bit. Harriman.
Good board by Harriman.
See, he's never late to the bus. Look at him. He doesn't have to fool with that hair like everybody else does. He gets up, he showers or whatever, and he's on the bus. He's
Wipes the head off. There it is. A little more playing time tonight.
ESPN2's look at the world of college basketball tips off tomorrow. College hoops tonight. Host Dave Feldman and analyst Quinn Buckner there for an in-depth look at the big games, and also a roundtable of top coaches will be on hand to discuss issues surrounding the game. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the Deuce, Central Eastern Time. You know, one other note, you were talking about Oklahoma State, and I'm surprised that they have given some people. There's not a better one around as far as taking young people and putting together the team. And look at it, and Earl just stopped completely.
Roy Williams, look at that face. Roy Williams simply said, "What are you doing?"
So there's the timeout, and we'll take it with him.
Shoot it.
Look at Paul Pierce is just cracking up.
It looks like he got...
I mean, is he hurt or is he just laughing? Roy's saying, go ahead, shoot it.
You think this job's easy, Ron? What are you doing? Well, I can't tell what happened. I don't know if he got hurt on the way out.
Well, the way he's laughing, it's not, but Pierce was laughing as hard as he was.
Oh, yeah, that's the old Globetrotter move, huh?
Lester just glanced over here. Lester, you're going to be on SportsCenter all week.
Yeah, that one, yeah, they'll save that facial reaction.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
The only person in this arena who didn't laugh was Danny Nee, and I understand it. 77-53, about to go under 7 minutes to play in that one. Chenowith comes over to take the out-of-bounds pass and says, how are you doing? So
nice to be young,
yeah,
18 years old,
I know it.
having fun, going to school, traveling all over the world, these guys.
We're a size 17.
Played in Michigan, New York, Arizona, you name it. They've been all over California, Hawaii. Kansas team will play anybody, anywhere, I think.
It's amazing to come into conference play. They've already played 18 games, 16-2.
And we were looking, if they go to the finals this year, they get that final game, they could play 43 games, which would be an NCAA record.
That's right. UNLV, was it?
I think 40.
Yeah.
Total. Boy, that's a lot.
It's a lot of basketball for college kids.
Yeah.
I mean, when you throw in the classes, the books, and everything. Shot clock is now down to 7. Got to do something. Lester Earl dishes it off. 4 seconds on the clock, and Gregory swishes.
Pure hang time. 4. He's in double figures.
So now KU with Earl with 11, 13 for Pierce, 14 for Chenowith, 19 Thomas, and 10 for Gregory.
Well, if you're Nebraska, you have to keep playing. They look like they've lost interest, except Piakowski. He's had some kind of night.
He really has. He's at 16 now. Now Harriman and Chenowith are mixing it up inside. Robertson too hard off the front iron, and Gregory rocks the house.
Confidence for a young player. You want them to build it. He has a smile on his face. Roy Williams kind of looked over to him, and
see, that's what happens when you get positioned and hustle. I think it's
I saw confidence this afternoon. Kansas State, who manhandled Missouri. Josh Reed came up with 28 points, hit a couple of jump shots, and all of a sudden confidence started. He didn't stop. Amazing what it does.
Walked in to watch part of your game, John, and it was at 60 at that time. Pierce can't get it to go. Harriman hit it off Piakowski.
Well, Kenny Gregory hit a jump shot before, but what he's known for is the athletic ability, attacking the offensive boards. Nobody put a body on him. That seemed pretty easy. Explosive. Freshmen are having a good night for Kansas.
They really are. Nice dish to Chenowith. And that's a combination that I think you're going to see and these fans are going to enjoy for a long time.
Yeah. Freshman to freshman. Kenny Gregory's a different player. That's tonight.
Career high for Chenowith with 16 points. Well, that thing, that's stuck. Yep.
They'll go back, jump. Look at this. The freshman to the freshman. The finish. You said it, Ron. They will be seeing these two faces for a few more years here, doing the same thing.
Piakowski also. This is a career high for him with 16 points. And John, he's 7 of 8 from the field.
Well, he's come in here and really done what he's supposed to do, provide a spark off the bench. Tyrone Lue has kind of been bottled up all night. Ryan Robertson has done a nice job. McGrath, Gregory, they've thrown a few people at Lue to just contain him. Tyrone looks a little tired, had an explosive Rainbow Classic tournament.
He's only got 4 points in the second half. He had 10 at intermission.
I think he's got, what, 6 or 7 turnovers maybe. Looks a little bit tired. He thrives on his speed and the pace of the game.
He's got 4 assists. Perfect at the free throw line, but he's only 4 of 16 shooting.
Yeah, most of Tyrone's game, and the one thing about it is north and south. He doesn't do a lot of east-west, a lot of shake-bake. He's more speed and goes by you, can stop on a dime, rises up, knocks in jump shots.
John, you were right. He's got 8 turnovers in tonight's ball game. To 60, under 5 minutes to play. Opening conference game for both teams. The defending champion Jayhawks. A comfortable 23-point margin. Pierce. Well, it's about 3 that he's had tonight that he had the good roll, the good touch.
Well, he has such a softness to it from all ends, whether it's deep or really floating through the lane. He has a lot of balls seem to touch a lot of part of the rim before they drop through.
Lue with the penetration, nobody to dish to. Belcher outside, and he'll swish it. So from Mexico to Missouri to Mexico, Missouri. Same high school.
A couple of buddies, distant cousins that grew up together. Again, Lue did move to Raytown High School, Raytown, Missouri, outside of Kansas City, and played his senior year there. Was explosive and all-state player.
Well, 2 super games make up Super Tuesday. This is the way it looks. 20th ranked Michigan and Indiana, 7:30 Eastern, and followed by Southeastern Conference play. Number 7 Kentucky at Georgia. That at 9:30. And of course, the Bulldogs had a shot and lost in overtime at North Carolina a week ago today. So that's a good matchup.
And how'd that Indiana game come out today, Ron?
They Illinois won that ball game. I can't remember 1 point or 2 points. It was close. Earl at the other end tried to save it between his legs.
Well, he ran the floor, and Ryan Robertson put it out ahead, and David Hall's going to shake it off a little bit. Looks like he is okay.
So there's a break in the action, and we'll take it with them. 85-63 Kansas. Last play just before we went away for the break. Lester Earl. Now watch, the ball's going to get hung up in his long shorts. But look at the referee. He jumps, and David Hall trips over the Jayhawk and comes up. David, grab the pom-pom. Then you could be part of the group. Lester Earl, by the way, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 8 in the second half. And able to laugh because everybody's okay.
He's had a hard time getting rid of that basketball. You know, the free throw, and in that time he had it in his hands. The shorts may be too long. Maybe he has too much stickum on his hands.
Hamilton handling the ball. Bounce pass to Lou. Robertson touched it last, I thought, but they're going to say touched by Nebraska.
Good hands, good denial by Robertson.
20th turnover against the Huskers.
I'll tell you something interesting, Ron. Early this year, Tyrone Lue had 34 points against Western Illinois. He's taken out of the game, and they're talking about records and scoring and scoring. Danny Nee made a comment about Tyrone Lue would rather get 35 against someone like Kansas. And he didn't mean that bad. Just the fact that he took out Tyrone to head the game in control. But I will bet you that Ryan Robertson, McGrath, and all those players saw that and read that and probably said he won't get 35 against us because they have done all they can, even when they're ahead by much. They have not given Tyrone Lue anything.
87-63, and Chenowith 18 points, trying to make it 19. Every point he scores is a new career high for him.
A good ball game. This crowd will give this young fella a big hand. One thing you have to be careful about on that sideline, Ray Prince is standing there with a cast on. You've got to be careful not to get it in that high-five mode and the excitement. There's T.J. Pugh in the sport coat.
9 of 11 for Chenowith tonight. 21 turnovers against the Huskers. Under 3 to play. McGrath will come back into the lineup, as will Jelani Janice, a junior, Granada Hills, California. Earl goes out, and Robertson goes out.
I'm a little surprised that McGrath's handled the ball. I would maybe give it to Janice and let him just get the comfort. He has struggled since arriving here in Lawrence with maybe just playing in this atmosphere. Maybe it's bigger than he expected or whatever, and he hasn't been comfortable playing and hasn't been able to play much.
Somebody told me that Roy told him he...
oh, what a ball fake. Oh, that's too smooth.
Pierce kisses it off the glass, and now he's got 17. Lue back to Belcher. Lue for 3. Well off. Bradford.
Continue to play it till the game says 0-0 on that clock. A look at the aggressiveness defense. Nice step out by Janice.
Belcher buries a 3. Cookie now has got 15. That's 2 threes for him.
Really shown his range. Now he had 2 threes the first half and 2 the second. So,
well, coming up next, Sports Center. Gary Miller and Linda Cohn. NFL playoffs, national championship debate, and NBA highlights. All of that and more as Paul Pierce comes to the bench, and he gets a huge salute. 17 points for him. 5 4 rebounds. He's even got 3 assists on the night. Make that 3 rebounds, I beg your pardon. Lue guilty of the foul. 10 team fouls against Nebraska.
He grabbed Terry Nooner, who was a former high school teammate of Lue's. Raytown High School. You know what? Lue's a nice guy. He gave his high school teammate, look at the smile on his face. I think he purposely made a foul. Let his high school partner get on the scoring board.
Janice working against Lue. Under 2 minutes now, and a nice assist to Hamilton, and the foul on Bradford. And I think you'd have to say that Roy Williams not overly pleased with the first half. Second half, I think he's got to be pretty pleased with the total effort.
Yeah, I think so. The good penetration that time by Lue, and Hamilton with the finish. But you know, the one thing he recognizes too, his ball club's tired, but they've responded and did what they're supposed to do, which they do most every time out, and that's get the W.
Nebraska's going to fall to 9-5, and Roy Williams' Kansas ball club will go to 17-2. Here, and Florence will score. Meanwhile, Nooner at the other end are about to go under 1 minute left to play, and there's the foul on Larry Florence. 4 on him.
Martin gets a chance to get in the scorebook himself. 7 points on the year.
Another one of those youngsters that these are such great basketball fans here. They know the people who are here to work hard in practice and don't get a lot of play time, and they seem to cheer and applaud even harder for them when they do get the opportunity.
They are there every day and do everything that all the other players do, and maybe sometimes work harder than the guys that have some of that ability. That's right.
That's what they're there for. So they get their moment in the sun. 1 minute left to play. Opening conference game for the defending champions, and they will do it successfully as Janice called for the foul.
Well, Lue and Janice are basically going at each other. Simple one-on-one. Janice has tried twice now to full court pressure Tyrone Lue, and Lue has handled that.
Sports Center coming up next. Immediately following this one, we got 55.1 seconds. Lue now with 18.
And up next for Kansas is another home game. This one against Colorado, who lost a tough 1-point ball game at home to Oklahoma.
There's a steal by Florence, and a nice dish to Belcher. Yeah, I thought they were going to come back and take that game from Oklahoma today.
Had a chance, came back from all the way from 16 or 18 down. And big win for Oklahoma, though, on the road to open the Big 12. Kelvin Sampson has a nice ball club. Corey Brewer had a good ball game. Brian Humphrey, outstanding freshman.
Hamilton gets the steal. Lue reverses it, can't get it to go. Johnson tried to tip it, and now it's taken away, and a foul called on Janice, and Hamilton will go to the line. 14.7 seconds left. .96-75, and again repeating. Kansas 5 players in double figures. Earl with 11, Pierce with 17, 19 for Chenowith, 19 for Thomas, and 12 for Gregory. Lue with 18, Piakowski with 60. That's a career high for him. 17 points for Belcher. Shot wouldn't go. The outlet pass going to be stolen by Kansas. And horn will sound. And this one is history. So the defending champions step off proudly. 96-76 as they win the opener here in the Big 12 Conference, knocking off Nebraska. Sports Center coming up. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Ron Franklin saying so long, everybody.